your destiny.
Just give me a few minutes, guys. We'll get started here in just a moment. Double checking all my facts and making sure I at least cover the titles and the stories that I can find information on around them. So give me a few more minutes, if you will, before we get started here with this attempt at SCW Recap Rewind, or Rewind Recap. Alright, y'all, are we on? Can you hear me? Ready to do the thing. I want to make sure I'm coming through. I think it's coming through okay. Hello, Alex. There it is.
Friendship.
No, I will not. You will stop fighting AZ eventually one day. Alright, just a minute here. We're gonna leave this. Alright, y'all, be prepared. This is something something that I haven't tried before. I have no characters to show off, so you guys get to see something you don't see too often. But are we ready to go? Are we ready to start the show? Are we ready for the rewind recap? I hope so. Because I've never done it like this before, and we're going to give it a shot.
Choose your destiny.
Danny Smoke, thank you so much for following. Kyle Kazi, so you followed about 6 minutes ago. Thank you so much for that. Sin City Wrestling, Alex Sid, 0001. Thank you so much for the hosts. All of you, beautiful human beings. Fantastic. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to SCW Rewind Recap. My name is JB. I am here to give the lowdown on what has happened in Sin City Wrestling for the last month or so. That way, we know what's going on for any new people that have not been able to see what's been happening, any new followers, or people that just may or may not have forgotten. Thank you so much for that posture check, Tenez. In fact, let me just do one of these and just... There we go. A little down here. Hydrate. Wonderful. Got some water.
Ooh! Hi,
Oh,
I'm
boy,
a
tell you a
unicorn.
joke.
I
All
can
right,
see a
a
rainbow.
They never have to be good ones. So two guys walk into a bar. You think the second one would have ducked. Oh, man, I'm awful. Anyway, let's jump right into it. Also, hello, Sin City Wrestling. Welcome in, Essie. Oh, that was the guy with gun. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, I hope your dog continues to have the zoomies. I really do. But anyway, let me pull up my little sheet here, because I'm kind of working on off this here. And we're going to go over the basics of what's going on. We're going to talk about all the titles that have changed hands, because pretty much every title has changed hands. I think every single one of them has changed hands, actually, in the last month. We're going to go over a little bit of TTK. We're going to go over the people that have shown up to stop TTK, and just kind of get a feel for the major storylines that I was able to pick apart from our results page and what I remembered. Not to mention, we haven't had programming this week due to some personal stuff going on with Essie and Blazer Laser, so I figured I would step in and try to fill the gap best I can. So let's start with this. First and foremost, we have a new SCW Royal Phoenix champion, multi-time Royal Phoenix champion now, in Callie. Now, Callie is our resident speed freak, and I don't mean speed as in drugs. I mean that woman will run faster than Barry Allen could ever hope to go, no matter where she's at. We all know this. She's also a huge proponent of Earlism, which we will get into in just a little bit with Earlism and the Moon Knight Order, and how they had a wonderful, wonderful time at Aces High. But first and foremost, let's get back to Callie. Callie is, again, your new Royal Phoenix champion, having defeated Reina Del Maro. She is one of the few women to step up to try to take that title. Got herself a #1 contendership, went to Aces High, and took back a title that is almost synonymous with Callie at this point. What she'll do with this title, I have no idea, but I know we're all waiting to see, and that's a call for the entire women's division to take a step forward. Anyone that hasn't gone for that title, make a name for yourself. Get out there. Come on, if 5 Hour Energy can't take her down, I bet you guys can. And if Earlism can't take her down and steal all of her money, then the Moon Knight Order definitely will. But that's not saying anything for Reina Del Mar, one of the biggest, baddest competitors here in SCW. Easily one of the most fearsome competitors we have here. Just, it was not her night. So congratulations to Callie. GG's to Reina Del Mar. Maybe next time. And who knows? Maybe we'll see Reina Del Mar in a Royal Phoenix title picture soon. Maybe we'll see Reina Del Mar go for that Knockouts title. But moving on. We also have Jacob Havoc winning the 86 title from Kenny Davis. Now, that did not come easy for Jacob. No. Jacob Havoc got himself a #1 contendership for that title, went for it at Aces High, and what happened? Poor Jacob Havoc couldn't get the job done. A moment of silence for Jacob Havoc's title reign attempt at Aces High. But that didn't stop him. No, yeah, F's in the chat for Jacob Havoc and his attempt at Aces High. But that didn't stop him. No. Jacob Havoc said, I cannot let that be the end of the story. Jacob Havoc came back because he was so close to victory, just mere seconds away. He came back, he re-challenged Kenny Davis, and on the following ante up, that following Thursday, because it was a special time, not only did he challenge for the 86 title, not only was it the main event, not only was it the match of the night, but Jacob Havoc became your new SCW 86 champion. Defeating Kenny Davis is no small feat. Kenny has defeated multiple major names on this roster, including the Moonmaster. He's taken down, I'm pretty sure, Ricky Brown at least once. Blaze, I'm almost positive, has probably fallen to Kenny Davis at least once. If not, then I'm wrong, and, well, this is just fake news. But anyway, that's beside the point. Jacob Havoc is your new 86 title holder. Now, that doesn't mean because he's 86 title holder that he's just going to be able to coast along and do what he wants. There is a men's roster full of hungry competitors hoping to take that title off of him. One of them being the walking badass himself, the ruler of the Iron Valley, CJ Tyson. We've all seen CJ out there in the gym, in the offices, in the arena, in his private life, because we have cameras everywhere on the resort. We've heard what he has to say. CJ wants that title. CJ will do what he has to get that title. So Jacob Havoc, I suggest you watch your back, because you got a big angry man trying to come after you. And he's not going to stop until he gets his hands on that 86 gold. Now, going off titles for a moment, we did have some fun at Aces High, didn't we, everybody? Yes, we did. We had a Battle of the Gods, Battle of the Century. Lunar Warfare was enacted at Aces High. Lunar Warfare being one of the most brutal matches we've ever seen in SCW. Yeah, the guy with Guns Zero and never lost to 86, hashtag cheated. That's very true. Scott Zero never did lose that 86 title, so maybe Scott Zero is going to take that belt. Boss saying he was stripped of it. This sounds like a personal problem between management and competition. I'm just a humble reporter. It's not what I'm here to get involved in all that madness. Alex is saying the Moonmaster defeated Earl Grey via default. Exactly. In one of the most bone-crunching, blood-curdling, turn your children away matches that SCW has ever seen. The Moonmaster took on St. Earl Grey. Lunar Warfare, a match that could only be won by pinfall, submission. There were rope breaks, there were countouts. You could be disqualified, and a special guest referee of Mufasa? Amazing. Never seen before. Never been done before. May never be done again. And while the footage may look a little suspect, that Earl Grey may have pinned the Moonmaster, I'm here to tell you, my sources confirmed to me today that while the results may say that Earl Grey won that match, in reality, in the books, in the record books of SCW, It says that the Moon Master, Moonhausen, the Moon Knight Order took that victory straight to Hoboken, New Jersey. Now, I'll tell you, friends, Lunar Warfare is one of the most grueling matches I have ever had a chance to cover. There was blood, there was crying, mustaches, face paint. It was insane. And I'll tell you this, I hope that no one else has to suffer in that kind of match ever again. But if they do, you'll probably see it on an SCW pay-per-view. Moving on. Let's look at our current tag team champions. We're calling this the rise of TTK and the fall of the Undercats as the Wild Pair Tag Team Champions. Now, just a few weeks ago, about a month and a half ago, the Undercats challenged Lucha Crazy. Sleight of hand. Unfortunately, they were not victorious because Lucha Crazy, as we all know, 100% all Lucha, all crazy. Some of the best high flyers around in this business. Flacco and Rapido, fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful guys. Easily held those tag team titles with pride and with grace. And the Undercats, excuse me, not the Thundercats. The Undercats. Oh! The Undercats came out with a challenge for Lucha Crazy. And unfortunately, were not victorious. However, pardon me for not arriving earlier, kind of timing in, which I normally go to sleep. Don't worry, Radic. This will also be linked in the SCW Discord on YouTube. I am recording this just to put this on the YouTube channel, either mine or SCW's. That way, in case you missed this show, you can always see it again. Back to it, the Undercats challenged for the SCW Wild Pair Tag Team Champions at sleight of hand. Unfortunately, did not walk away with the victory. But much like Jacob Havoc, who just joined into this chat. Uncle Manu, my brother, I haven't seen you in years. Thank you for stopping in. Goodness. Everyone throw a heart up in the chat for Uncle Manu, a very good friend of mine. One of the nicest human beings on this planet. Thank you so much for stopping in, Manu. Back to the story. Sleight of hand comes around, the Undercats are not victorious.
Excellent.
Uncle Manu with a subscription, tier 1. Thank you so much, Manu. I appreciate that. We're not victorious at sleight of hand, as I've said probably 4 times now. But, much like Jacob Havoc, they were not content to be in the losing bracket. They challenged again the team of TGA, the Guardian himself, as well as Justin Wild. That Cat's Cradle is a deadly, deadly thing, my friends. We've all seen it. The only way to win against Justin Wild, really, is to not fight Justin Wild. Unless you be forced to tap out and call that man daddy. Anyway, so the Undercats do challenge for the Wild Pair Tag Team Champions the following week after sleight of hand. What happens? They become your new SCW Wild Pair Tag Team Champions. And then they put out the challenge. Anyone, step up. Come take these titles off of us. And who shows up? The resident thorns in the sides of management of SCW, TTK, Time to Kill. What did they do? What did Fulton Reed and Eric Clash do? They walked in, they did their jobs, they took the titles, and made TTK your new Wild Pair Tag Team Champions at Aces High. The good boys TTK. Alex, you need to stop lying right now. Then again, I'm supposed to be unbiased. I'm just a reporter, folks. So TTK is now your new SCW Wild Pair Tag Team Champions. What does that mean for the tag team division? Does that mean that TTK is going to hold this gold for a good long time, or is someone going to step up? It could be anybody, really. The Undercats could try to step up again. It could be, goodness, the McGeeters could step up. Maybe Jen Forever. Maybe Queen's Gambit.
Splash
Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see as the weeks go by. Next up, we have one of my personal favorite segments in a while. We have Michelle Martinez becoming your new SCW Knockouts Champion. Now let's take a trip back in time, way back to Sleight of Hand, as we've been doing for most of the show now. At that time, your Knockouts Champion was Luna Lovewell, formerly Luna Van Helsing, who had attacked the champion at the time, Don Santana, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the back, to the point where Don Santana decided, we're going to fight in the ring, and you can have my title on the line. And what happened? Don Santana, unfortunately, lost her title that night, which brought up the reign
Choose your destiny.
of Luna Lovewell. Thank you so much, Radic, for the follow. I appreciate that. The reign of Luna Lovewell, who for weeks, quite honestly, didn't do a whole lot. She went and had her matches, but there was no one challenging her. You had one person, I believe, that was either Michelle Martinez. Let me just double check our good old results page right quick, y'all. Just to make sure I've got my facts straight here. I want to make sure that I'm not wrong. Let me see, one moment. The one thing I forgot to write down was who Luna actually had defeated when she had her title. Feel free to put it out in the chat if you remember. Because quite honestly, my brain's not working at full capacity at the moment. Let's take a look-see. Since Alex technically did a major ping and announcements and got me here. You know what, Alex? I appreciate you doing so. I really do. I appreciate it immensely. Let's see here. Luna. Who did Luna retain? That's right. No. The old double down here. Goodness. I believe Luna defended that title at least once. Or Don Santana came back and had some pretty harsh words to say, actually. I just want to double check real quick, like. Just bear with me, folks. So you know this is live. There we go, excuse me. At Sleight of Hand, it wasn't Dawn that lost the title. It was Luna actually had defended and retained that title against Adriana Santos Barbosa. My reporting is terrible tonight. There you go. So Adriana Santos Barbosa had a shot at Sleight of Hand. Unfortunately, was not able to get the job done after Luna had taken that title off of Don Santana. Then we roll in about 3-4 weeks later. And what happens? We have the return of Don Santana. She comes out with a fiery vengeance. Many harsh things to say about that particular Knockouts champion, Luna Lovewell, to the point where not only did she actually defeat Luna for that Knockouts championship before the pay-per-view, 2 weeks before the pay-per-view, going into Aces High, we haven't heard from Luna since. What's going on with Luna Lovewell? We're just gonna have to wait and see. Going into Aces High, Don Santana laid out a challenge to the whole roster. Said, the ladies, you need to step up. You need to do something. Make a name for yourself. And what happens? Michelle Martinez stepped up. Michelle Martinez only stepped up. Michelle Martinez handed Don Santana a loss. Probably the most devastating and finite loss that Don Santana has ever suffered in SCW. Beating her in just over 3 minutes. I don't care who you are. That is impressive. Michelle Martinez becoming your new SCW Knockouts champion. One of the most humble people around, under the tutelage of a living legend himself, Ricky Brown. And moving on from there, we had a build-up of Brian Styles versus Blaze Maximilian for weeks and weeks, which brings me not only into one story but two. For weeks on end, the SCW locker room, including management, those in the ring and out of the ring, have been lorded over by this group TTK. Scott Zero, Aaron Clash, Brian Styles, and now Fulton Reed. The walking powerhouse himself, Fulton Reed, is part of TTK. Completely out of nowhere has he joined this group. And their message is very clear. That there's bias happening in this company. And they will not stand for it. They will do anything and everything to make sure that their message is loud and clear and gets across to everybody. That if you don't get treated fairly, you have a place with them, and they're here to help you. They have wins over former competitor Bryson D. Gunner, current 86 champion Jacob Havoc, Leo Faust, former 86 champion the White Dragon Draco, formerly the Red Dragon Ryu, and former High Roller Heavyweight champion Alex Sid. Four of the most dangerous men, not only in this company, but in this business. Adds to notes by teleprompter. Thank you, Alex. TTK, the goodest boys. We have some TTK fans out there. Beautiful, wonderful. Personally, I like TTK. I think they do a good job. I think they're entertaining. I think they have a lot to say. Not only do they let their actions speak for them, but hey. Danny Smoke for the imposter check. Thank you so much. Kind of hunched over in this lovely chair of mine. Your lies from SCW. I'm sorry to say, SCW management, I know you can hear me, I'm sorry to say that TTK does have a pretty good point. You put them in some pretty dangerous situations. Which brings me into my next story. With Brian Styles and Blaze Maximilian. Hydrate? I don't know, hydrate again. SCW management with Brian Styles in a match against Blaze Maximilian. Two men that know each other very, very, very well. Knowing full well that Brian Styles may or may not be at a disadvantage. Another hydrate? Okay, Danny. Delicious water. And quite honestly, Brian Styles deserved better than that. Brian Styles deserved to not have to worry about a vindictive human being like Blaze Maximilian. Brian Styles probably should have won that match, to be honest with you. Because as Brian Styles puts it, he's done nothing wrong. Right? Food for thought. Brian Styles wasn't the only person that had a match that night. Aaron Clash did as well, winning the Tag Team Championship. Scott Zero did as well, which we will get to in a minute. But we learned something with the Brian Styles match over at Aces High, didn't we? Make me hydrate till I'm sick of water. I mean, I can start putting them on a list, my friend. I don't got to do them all at once. We learned something at Aces High, didn't we, folks? There is a group willing to stand up to TTK. The unlikely combination of Leo Faust, Ricky Brown, and a returning but not medically cleared Jamison Jensen, calling themselves the Queen's Gambit. Now, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we know about them. We heard Jamison on SCW programming earlier this week, making the challenge to TTK. Some pretty strong words of his own. 100% acknowledging the fact that he's been on the end of brutality by TTK more than once. What will happen with Queen's Gambit? We're just going to have to wait and see what these three men are willing to do. Were they willing to cross the same lines that TTK is? Who knows? Maybe TTK has got the advantage. Lack of morals. Lack of restraint. We'll have to wait and see. But speaking of Jamison, this is my next story. Scott Zero defending his title at Aces High against Jesse Wolf. Now you're asking yourself, what does Jameson have to do with any of that? Once again, let's take a trip back to Sleight of Hand, where Scott Zero defeated Jamison Jensen for the SCW High Stakes title in a Japanese death match. No hyperbole, that was one of the bloodiest, most violent matches that this reporter has seen in many, many years. Thumbtacks, fire, electrocution, getting beat down with a car door, only to have it end completely with Scott Zero throwing Jamison Jensen off the top of one of our production trucks and almost putting an end to Jamison Jensen, who we hadn't seen for over a month. It's been almost 2 months since he's been back in the ring. Had to go through VOD a little. I did notice just because Jacob won the title, he won't be walking away just freely-neely. He's ready for anyone who hungers for the title. Good. I hope the rest of the roster hears that. Make that known. Go out. Do a promo. Let us know that Jacob Havoc is willing to defend that title against anybody. Soon enough, we'll have a number one contender. But back to the story. Scott Zero took out Jamison Jensen, who had previously gotten that title from Aaron Clash, a soon-to-be member of TTK, prior to them joining together. So what happens after that? Scott Zero goes out and he continues to push his message about TTK, about how they've done nothing wrong, how they are good human beings. Quite honestly, Scott Zero has a point. Multiple times TTK has been put in dangerous matches. Dangerous matches. Aaron Clash was forced to defend his title in a ladder match, as well as a no-holds-barred knockouts match. That can easily end careers, or at least shorten them by a significant amount. Not very fair to one of your top competitors, wouldn't you say? And Scott Zero being forced into a Japanese death match? That despite management saying they weren't sanctioning it, obviously they did if the title was on the line. Management knew full well what could have happened that night, and still allowed Scott Zero and Jamison Jensen to go out and almost kill themselves for you folks. But they did it for you, for your entertainment. More so, they did it because management allowed it to happen. You have to live with that, Esmera. You as well, Blaze. Ian, Jesse. We move on. And what is TTK doing? They're simply spreading the truth. Yo, it's past the sleep time for me, so I should be heading out. No, take care though. Thanks so much, Radic, for stopping in. I appreciate it. TTK is out there. They're spreading the truth, the good word. They're showing us the inadequacies of management. How management will do whatever they have to do to make sure that their favorites stay on top. We saw it. Case in point, at Aces High, a member of management, the head of SCW security, Jesse Wolf, challenged Scott Zero for his title in an Extreme Rules match. It's pretty high stakes. And he won. Why am I not surprised that someone in management was given another title opportunity? Maybe TTK is not so wrong after all, folks. But we'll see what happens. Jesse Wolf is a former SCW High Roller Heavyweight Champion. Jesse Wolf is also, I believe, a former Wild Pair Tag Team Champion. Jesse Wolf has done it all in multiple companies. So what's Jesse Wolf going to do with that title? Who knows? What I can tell you is this. I have it on good authority that there is a massive target on Jesse's back. And that sooner or later, someone is going to take that belt from him. Come hell or high water. Moving on to the main event of SCW SCW Aces High. Alex Sid had defended that title, the High Roller Heavyweight Championship, at Sleight of Hand against former SCW talent Anthony Rigoni, and beat him handedly. And for weeks, the champ went silent, waiting, hoping somebody would step up, hoping he would get a worthy opponent, someone that would have earned that shot. Nothing. Nobody stepped up. Nobody. It's not my job to do that for you guys. I'm just a reporter. Management then tells Alex, after Alex has what I will admit is a bit of an outburst in the roster gym. Management tells Alex he has an opponent for Aces High. They won't tell him who it is. The mystery opponent. So as we waited with bated breath after what was quite honestly one of the best shows in SCW history, Alex Sid comes down to the ring with his title and he's waiting for his opponent. Lights go out. A familiar guitar lick hits, and it's none other than the human horror film Matt Black, the leader of the Moonlight Menagerie himself, walking out through the fire and flames and staring down best he can without any eyes, Alex Sid. Something completely unexpected. Something that no one saw coming. And something that we all deserve to see. He went out there, and I'll give it to Alex, he put up one hell of a fight. Back and forth, until Matt Black did the impossible. Matt Black not only defeated Alex Sid, but became your new SCW High Roller Heavyweight Champion. And since then, we have seen on SCW programming that Matt Black is not content to wait around. Matt Black is not content to just sit on his laurels and hope for the best. Matt Black wants a challenger, but he wants to make sure that everyone that does challenge him knows one thing. It won't be easy. You'll have to walk through hell to get that title. From the Revenant of Matt Black, the human horror film, you'll have to go through hellfire, brimstone, and the entire menagerie if you want to take that SCW High Roller Heavyweight Championship. Quite frankly, I look forward to seeing what happens, and I look forward to his title reign. And that's all we have time for today, folks. You're on the SCW Rewind Recap. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it immensely. Hopefully we'll do more of these as time goes on. I hope you guys were at least to some degree entertained. And if you weren't entertained, well, we'll be back hopefully on Saturday with SCW Presents Wildcard and Encore. A big major show, a little bit of a bigger card for you guys since we haven't had any matches this week. So with that being said, if anyone has any questions, anything to say, comments or concerns, anything to get off your chest, now's the time. Nobody. Going once. Going twice. Last and final call for questions. Alright, guys. Well, in the words of Kenny Omega, unfortunately must bid you adieu. Oh, dear Christ almighty. Jesus! Yes, question. God, I forgot that was your sounder. It was loud as a motherfucker. Yes, Blaze? Can I help you? Is that Blaze Maximilian Feller the meanest sumbitch ever put... Is that Blaze Maximilian Feller the meanest sumbitch ever put on God's green earth? Well, let me tell you something. Blaze Maximilian is the meanest sumbitch to ever walk God's green earth. Well, his legs don't work. Understand something. He'd take his legs and he'd throw them at you, and when you realize that a crippled man had thrown his noodly legs at you, he'd bite you. That being said, guys, I must bid you adieu. Good night.